Hello everyone, welcome to day 5 of our 11-day Shamanism and Meditation Practice Challenge. So this is an exciting day, we're almost halfway through and it's been going very well, and I love being with all of you, and it's really beautiful to see how we can come together in a global community. So welcome to the people coming in. Welcome Krista, Martin. So Krista from Hawaii, and Martin, welcome. And Danielle, welcome. And so it's so nice to see all of you. Angela, welcome. And aloha, Krista. And welcome, Andy. So all my friends, welcome. So I'm just going to wait for a few minutes for everyone to join us. And it's been such a nice group of people, and your hearts have been so generous. And so I really enjoyed this time. So Kaz, welcome Kaz. Welcome Martin, welcome. And Rebecca from Maui, my good friend Rebecca. We spent some good times together in Maui, so welcome Rebecca. And Pauline. So this is great. Colin, welcome Colin from New York. Sarah from the UK. Colin, welcome Colin. Desiree from Denmark, welcome. So we'll start off with a bit of a guided meditation. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about spiritual practice and how we can develop a spiritual practice along this way of Ubuntu. And then I've got a couple of things to talk to you about in terms of spiritual practice. Hi Zdenka from London. So hi Kathleen. So let's start the practice. I think there's enough of you have joined in now. So we can begin. And there's Anton from Russia. Hi Anton. I like your new haircut, by the way. So the practice of helping this world starts with ourselves. It starts not with politicians, not necessarily with the leaders. It starts with each one of us. And I saw this in its root form in South Africa growing up, when I saw this very totalitarian system that was really crushing the spirits of people. I saw this being overthrown by the people. So what I'm saying is I saw apartheid in my time being overthrown by people from the ground. And then it was transmitted through the voice of Nelson Mandela. So what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about people dancing in front of tanks, dancing in front of soldiers without fear, and having what I call that Amandla spirit. So that Amandla spirit is generated through the hearts and minds of the common person, and it gave me, and it continues to give me, strength to focus on the grassroots. Grassroots people are you and me, just simple people trying to make a living and looking after our families. You don't have to be famous, you don't have to be a guru, you don't have to be a politician, you don't have to be a leader. It just starts with your own practice of connecting to this energy up and down your spine, which I call the energy of the Umbelini in South Africa. And that really means the Kundalini energy. So I can just start off with a little story around this. My practice and interest in traditional African mysticism really started when I was 15 years old. And it happened one day when I came back from school, and it was in the 80s, and it was apartheid, and there was a lot of fighting going on around the country. It was civil war in South Africa. And I just got myself a sandwich, and and a cup of tea, and I was sitting down watching the 6 o'clock news. And then I saw the most startling thing in the news. And in the news, I saw women and children dancing in front of tanks. Some of them had no shoes on, but they were dancing in front of tanks without fear. And then suddenly I saw this boy around the same age as me, this young Xhosa guy or Zulu guy, I'm not sure, but he stood up and his voice had broken, so he had a deep voice, and he lifted his hand up and he said, "Amandla!" And then the whole group of people in split-second time brought their feet down and then went, "Go etu." And then he went, "Amandla!" And everyone went, "Go etu." And then the third time he did it, "Amandla!" And everyone went, "Go etu." And in that moment, the power of the people was paramount. And I saw the faces of the young soldiers with guns. They had fear in their eyes, and I felt compassion for them. But above all, I felt two things. I felt ashamed to have white skin, and I also felt incredible pride in being a South African. And I looked at that young guy who was 15 in a different culture to me, and I felt so much pride and joy that he had so much strength to stand up and shout power in front of these tanks and guns. And all the women and children said, "Go to us." And in that moment, I wanted to learn the beauty of this Amandla spirit that makes people strong in front of adversity, that makes people proud in front of indignation. It makes people rise up, never mind the difficulties and challenges in front of them. And it focuses on the grassroots of people, just like you and me. So that's what the theme of these last few days have been, and including the theme of remembering those people who have died recently from the COVID pandemic. So I'm really reaching out to each one of you, to your hearts and minds, and saying that you have the power to change the status quo, and you have the power to bring more harmony and love into your community. And it just starts with your own heartbeat. So let's start the practice together. I'm going to start off by lighting the altar. So here we go. I'm lighting the stick of incense, and I'm rededicating it to all those people who have lost their lives to the COVID pandemic, and also all those people who have suffered terribly during this time. So family members, loved ones, and also other people who've gotten sick during this time from cancer or other kinds of really serious illness, and feeling a sense of hopelessness or depression around this time. So I'm just holding their spirit and holding that sense of aloneness that they may be feeling. I'm just holding that as I light this stick of incense. And then all of us can hold that spirit and send love and connection to these people. And some of these people might be ourselves. We might be feeling a sense of sickness or aloneness or a sense of emotional upheaval. And we might know people who are really sick at this time. So facing the altar, facing the candle, and I just say, Ndauwe, shewe, Ndau siyabonga, Ndau koko kusile, Ndauwe, shewe, Ndau siyabonga. Topela morena, Ndau, Amaku kosiyam. Amnyangi, 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 myangi. Amnyangi, amnyangi, myangi. Abazalibam, abazalibam, bamu. Abazalibam, abazalibam, bamu. Moyawamu, moyawamu, moya. Moyawamu, moyawamu, moya. abazalibam, abazalibam, bamu. Abazalibam, abazalibam, bamu. Chiklawambu, chiklawambu, you. Chiklawambu, chiklawambu, aman la manyangi, myangi. He aman la manyangi, myangi. Moya wambu, moya. Moya wambu, moya. Hey, abazalibam, abazalibam. Abazalibam, bamu. So we reach down inside ourselves and we honor and praise the Great Spirit and all our ancestors in this world and the next. And we ask the Great Ones to receive these people who have lost their lives recently, to receive them into the other world, into the spirit world, with grace and dignity, and help these people who may be afraid at the moment of death, help them to not be afraid, to give them hope and solace during the difficult time of their passing. And also, please, we ask that you give the loved ones and those around them who have suffered, give them solace and hope during this difficult time. And we've asked for solace and inspiration and joy and hope for all those people who are suffering right now from joblessness, from depression, from a sense of aloneness, that our prayers and energy over these next 11 days, that it may give hope to those people who are struggling right now. Siang mola manyangi, tamago. We honor and praise the Great Ones. So now we'll do a little bit of meditation, just feeling our heart center, and just remember the passion leads to compassion. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck inside, if your heart energy is feeling a bit slow, then you just shake yourself up and down like this. Bring your hands together, squeeze your hands, breathe in, breathe out. Try that. That's called the Ngonyama, the lion breath. Breathing in, breathing out. And then a little face that my little 5-month-old boy loves, and that's just, I call it a guinea fowl. Just to loosen the cheeks, loosen the spirit. Feeling your hands, breathing in and breathing out, feel your heart pulse. Feel the pulse in your hands. Feel the pulse in your center. And listen to the sound of the bell as it recedes into the distance. Listening to your heartbeat, coming into your own spirit, into your own pulse. We're going to do this 3 times. So stay with me for these 3 breaths, these 3 movements of the bell. Following the sound of the bell as it moves into the distance. Feeling your heartbeat, feeling the heartbeat in your hands. Feeling your heartbeat in your entire being. And we'll do it one more time. feeling your heartbeat, feeling your pulse. Bring your fingertips together so you feel your own heart pulse. Rest it on your lap, breathing in, breathing out. Feel the pulse. So your whole body is being rocked by the energy of your own heart beat, your own pulse. And now the next thing, I bring the drum in, and the drum is just there to magnify the energy of the pulse and also to send it outside, to send it in other directions. So we're holding that intention, we're holding that prayer. I'm dedicating the prayers here to the altar. I'm feeling that energy strongly in my heart. And now I'm going to let it out in all directions with the drum. Here we go. And you're going to help me do this. And the way you're going to do that is holding your own center, being aware of your own pain. So your own pain, if you don't look at it, you don't look at your wounds, then it turns into a shadow energy, and then it can become destructive. So be kind and compassionate towards yourself. Okay, do the work you need to do. If you're feeling uncomfortable, don't worry. Welcome to the spiritual walk of being a human being. If you feel discomfort, welcome. This is not about feeling sweet all the time. This is about feeling everything. That's spiritual practice. So it's very important to feel your center, feel your heartbeat, feel your emotional body. First you feel your physical body, so you're feeling your bones, you're feeling your heart pulse. Then you're feeling your emotional body and you're feeling the flesh in your bones, you're feeling any kind of emotion, but don't get attached to it. Just see it as clouds in the sky, moving and changing. And then the next thing is feeling your spirit. And one of the ways I always say it's good to feel your spirit is just to be aware of any kind of dreams that you may have had recently. And you just bring your consciousness into that, feeling your dream space, feeling your spirit. And just holding that space. And now when I'm drumming, it's energizing the spine, it's energizing the energy, the life force inside of us. And then we direct that life force with our prayers. So here we go. So sit up straight, feel your spine. Vudenle lamanyange, vudenle lamanyange, vudenle lamanyange, vudenle lamanyange. So we say, vudenle lamanyange, open the road, ancestors, open the road, wisdom keepers, open the road, great ones. And then we say, Amanla Manyange, Amanla Manyange. You're saying power and strength to the wisdom keepers, to our ancestors, to those ones who have walked before us. We are feeding you with our energy, with our passion. We are offering it up to you. So this is what the practice is about, the spiritual practice, and in particular in the shamanic traditions, in the sangoma traditions from Southern Africa, and also in the Zen traditions. It's about devotion. So spiritual practice is about devotion. So when we are sitting in Zen, the old Zen masters say that when you are meditating, you are sitting, offer yourself to the universe. Offer your body, offer yourself to the universe. And when we are practicing as sangomas and we are chanting, it's the same thing. It is said, chant and offer your song and your spirit to the wisdom keepers. Give of yourself to the wisdom keepers. So this is an important part of practice. That when we are practicing, we give ourselves away. We give ourselves to the Great Mother, Makulu, Mama Makulu. We give ourselves to Gaia. We give ourselves to the earth which we are sitting on. We just give ourselves away. Not in any negative way, but just a sense of offering yourself. It's a sense of great offering from your heart, great devotion. And when you practice like this, there's a certain passion that comes into you. There's a certain aliveness. There's a certain beauty and a certain shining that comes in. And spiritual practice is very personal to each person. So it's like what makes you feel alive. And that's what you practice too. So for example, my mother loves her garden. Her garden is her church. So when she's walking around the garden, she watches the birds and she gives herself to the birds, to that spirit in the garden. And then she feeds the birds, she looks after them, makes sure the wild birds have always got water and food. That's her practice. So what is your practice? What is it that you can give yourself away to and let go of your own problems and your own concerns, but you're giving yourself to life? So mindfulness practice is an important practice that's spread into the modern world. And with your mindfulness practice, it is meditation. And when you're sitting there, whether it's in a cushion or an office chair, and you're feeling your breath, just give yourself to the chair, give yourself to the earth, to the space that you're sitting in. Just give yourself away to that. Try that right now. Wherever you are, we just sit quietly. Giving your spirit and your heartbeat, just giving it into the space, 100%, offering it to the world around you. And then the next thing when we're doing chanting practice, it's a very good practice, chanting, to basically connect with your own voice. And your voice is connected to your spirit. And when we're connecting to our voice and our spirit, the next thing is when we're chanting, to offer our voice like a bird, offering your voice to the world. And you don't know where it goes when you're singing. You don't know what direction it goes in. Just like a bird. You hear the birds singing, and just these small little birds can make the most incredible sounds. And they just completely shatter your heart in terms of the beauty. We want to sing like that. That's the way we want to sing. And now the next thing, when you're singing or chanting, don't criticize your voice, because that's what happens. I've come across a lot of people who say, oh, I'm not a singer, I haven't got a chanting voice. And I say to you, don't worry. You are a child of God. You're a child of the Great Mother. You are perfect as you are. All you do is give your voice in a devotional way. That's it. And you look at the birds. Some birds have deep voices, some have high voices. It doesn't matter. It's the depth of your giving. That's what really matters, the depth of your giving. So we're going to do a little bit of chanting now. I'm going to share some chants with you, some that you may know and some new ones. And actually before that, just a little story for you, which is quite interesting. I remember with the Dalai Lama, there was a wonderful story of the Dalai Lama. And someone said to the Dalai Lama, Mr. Lama, they said, how can I make a difference to the world? I'm not famous, I'm not special, I'm just have an ordinary job, and I feel inconsequential. I feel I can't do anything, I can't make a difference. I feel my voice can't be heard. That's what they said to the Dalai Lama. And he looked at them and he just smiled and he just said, it's a wonderful story actually. He just said, think about one mosquito in your room that's buzzing. One little mosquito keeping you awake at night. Do you think its voice makes a difference? I love that. One little mosquito keeping you up at night. Does its voice make a difference? I've never forgotten that. And man, if I encountered mosquitoes in South Africa, it's just that one little mosquito which you can't find in the tent or in the room that you're in, and it keeps you awake. So I'm not saying you need to become like the mosquito, but as a child of Gaia, as a child of Mother Earth, you have a voice in the same way a little mosquito does. How do we use that voice? Well, you put all your energy and devotion into it and learn how to chant. Learn to offer your voice to the world with devotion like a bird. And then you're going to connect more with your authentic voice. So finishing up the story, the Dalai Lama finished up with a person and he said, do you think that mosquito's life makes a difference? And everyone would be like, well, it kept me up it kept me up at night. So you'd be, aha, so the mosquito kept you awake. The mosquito's sound penetrated your soul and kept you awake. And maybe during that wakefulness, you decided to meditate. So let's do a chant, okay? There's a simple chant which I always do with people, an African chant, and it's just Umama. So Umama Wam. And then I'm actually going to try one of my favorite chants, which is actually a yoga chant. But I'm going to do the same rhythm. So first you feel your own heartbeat, you feel the pulse inside of you, and then just feel the sound. So the chant is, I'm going to do it and then we're going to do it together. So it's Umama Wam. Ooh mama mama wam, ooh mama, ooh mama mama wam, ooh mama mama wam, ooh mama mama wam, ooh mama, ooh mama. So we can do that all together now. It's just ooh mama mama wam, and it's saying my mother. Mama is, as you know, mother all over the world. And Mama Wam means my mother. So it means Makulu. Makulu means the great mother. And when you're chanting Mama Wam, you're saying, come in, great mother, come in. Come in, the goddess, come in. Welcome into me. I'm offering my voice to you. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, mama, wam. Ooh, mama, wam. Om Mama, Om Mama, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama, Om Mama, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama. And some kind of percussion is good. Okay, so even if you just have your hands like we have in South Africa, you just bring your hands into a percussion shape and you just go like this. Om Mama Wam, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama, Om Mama, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama. And now I'm going to change it. Okay, I'm going to keep the same rhythm and bring in a yoga chant that you all know. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah. You sense the pulse? We started off with the heartbeat. We're keeping that heartbeat energy and we're using that with the pulse. And we're pulsing from our hearts, just like a bird does when it's singing. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, Om Namah, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama, Om Mama, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama Wam, Om Mama. So feel your heartbeat, feel the pulse in your hands, feel the electricity. It's good to lift your hands up. You bring your hands up like that. You feel the resonance in your hands. And here is the heart meridian here. So you bring your hands up, you feel the resonance of the heartbeat in your hands and it's really close to your heart. So you just feel that. So now we're directing that healing energy outwards. Now turning to the altar. Vulelena Mnyange, open the road, great ones. Nceda abantu ngoku, abantu basokolisa ngoku, nceda abantu kuhamba phambili. So I'm saying, please help those people who are suffering right now. Help them to rise up. Help them to rise up towards the light. Help them. Siyabulela, we give thanks. Directing the pulse of life upwards. Okay. So this is the Mindfulness Practice. So thank you for today. We're going to be wrapping it up now for today. Just before we wrap it up, I just want to mention a question that someone had, and that's the difference between, what is the difference between meditation and prayer? So meditation is when we are contemplating and we're sitting with practice, and we're sitting in quietness, and we're just sitting. And sometimes meditation can be a prayer. However, meditation generally is a quiet practice where we're sitting in contemplation and we're feeling our heartbeat and we're connecting with our own energy. And then with prayer is when we're connecting with our voice and we bring our energy out into the world and we're calling on the great ones. We're using our will, we're using our volition to call on the ancestors and also to offer them energy. So we never just ask the spirits for things, we also give them our energy. So we say siyabulela, siyabonga, which means I'm giving a blessing to the ancient ones. Ndiyanqula, ndiyathandaza, ndicamagu, Nkosi yam, siyabulela. We are honoring and praising the Great Spirit. We are offering our energy to the Spirit of the land. We are offering our energy to the Spirit of the Great Ones as we are praying. We are giving our energy to you with our voice. So with prayer, we are activating our voice and our hearts, and we are offering our voice in prayer. And then we're also listening to the voice of wisdom when we ask for help. So that's prayer. Meditation is where we're feeling our heart space, and we're coming inwards, and we're listening, just a spirit of listening and quietness. Okay, so I hope I've answered that question. I do a monthly ceremony every month, and it's a monthly webinar. And if you would like to carry on with these practices with me, I do monthly practice. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes, so it's a bit longer than these sessions. And we have people from all around the world joining us. So if these sessions are meaningful to you that I'm doing and you want to continue throughout the year, then feel free to go onto my website and connect with my monthly webinars. And I'll send you a link to that just now. Okay, so today we're just going to wrap it up for now. And I thank all of you for joining in. You're all wonderful, and I really appreciate all the support. And if you can share these videos and these sessions with your friends, and like this page, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram channel, and that's a good way of just letting these teachings out in all directions to help create Ubuntu, help create this human circle of giving and receiving and being custodians of this earth. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. And tomorrow, I think the theme will be the animal kingdom. How do we track nature? How do we track the animal world? And how do we learn about animal communication? And how does that feed then into the dream time? Okay, so that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So sending a blessing to the altar, asking that all these prayers can be sent in all directions to help the people who are suffering. And I'm just going to light the altar. Finish up with a prayer. Ndauwe, shewe, ndau, siyabonga, ndau gogo kusemini, ndauwe, shewe, ndau, siyabonga, tobela morena, So I'm giving thanks to the ancestors for being with us and for our spirits, and asking that these good energies spread to those people who need help. Thank you everyone for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.